Alrighty. Well, hello everyone. This is John Lobdell. I'll be reading some poetry today, on my own and some from other people. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome, and shoot me a little note or a chat so I know who you are. That'd be nice. Alrighty. Well, I like to start with a little body mind centering, which I do by rubbing my hands till they get a little warm. Putting them right over your eyes, just where they fit nicely. Do that a couple more times. All right, so I'd like to start with a few things I wrote. I wrote 2 poems this week. I wasn't really happy with one, so I'll just read the little one I wrote today. The sparrows don't realize that the squirrel is no danger. But at their size, he must look scary. A few brave ones are on the ground, where some seeds have spilled, down where the cats may lurk. I breathe and wish no ill to any living creature. Alrighty. Maybe the other one I'll work on, and maybe one of these days I'll read it. So, what do I do? Oh, I read stuff from my books. Okay. Well, being the solstice is coming up, I think Saturday. Is it Saturday? Yeah. So in one of my books, I did write a couple of solstice poems. Solstice. It's the solstice, darkest night of the year. I'm thinking about metaphors of light and dark, but my mind becomes interested in why there are seasons. I remember the earth spins on a tilted axis. As we revolve around the sun, latitudes get more or less sun. Was this some lucky accident? That's a question science can't answer. And what about gravity? Doesn't it still seem amazing we don't go flying off into space? Maybe it's no accident we sold our souls to science. Sitting in the garden, we'd be too content. But we live in a world with light and dark. Truth stands above. Somewhere in that subset between science and spirit, mystery exists. There we might see ourselves existing in a universe of magical laws. And here's a short one, kind of like a haiku. Longest night. The longest night comes. The panther prowls the dark jungle. Yellow eyes delight us. Delight us or scare us. This is a little poem about my first book, Darkness. To honor the night, I always insert a little darkness in my poems. Yet it would not be true to leave them there, because the sun comes up every morning. That's a little one. Lonely. Watching TV, lonely. Rain stops. Out walking on glistening streets. So many gold leaves to keep me company.
Definitely a winter theme there.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was after. Turn off my heater.
I think the poem I sent you is about winter too.
Oh, okay. Sure, that's great. Oh, here's one about New Year's, which is not quite New Year's, but New Year's. It's December 30th, almost the new year. I'm walking on Point Reyes Beach, trying to reflect on last year and the next. My attention is taken by a lone sanderling darting in and out with the tide. Those little legs moving so fast. Yet something seems strange. They are usually in groups. I know they are endangered. Later, I do see a group. They seem to be resting. Looking more closely, I see they are standing on one leg. My first thought is, oh, this is some mutation caused by pollution. All my hopes for a new world seem as pointless as the lives of dried up crab carcasses littering the sand. What is this New Year's anyway? A date on a calendar. Resolutions are simply dredging up past failures. But the sanderlings wake up, stretch their hidden leg out from under their wings, scurry toward the receding tide, and dig hopefully into the sand, chasing the burrowing mole crabs. My hopes are instantly restored as I see again that the new is always outside time, is in the moment. Read that one for a while. Well, Linda, let's see what you wrote. You sent me two, didn't you?
Yeah, I sent you the second one was a one that I had already written a while back when I was a girl.
Okay, should we start with, which one should we start with?
How about Winter's Tears? I think that's what I sent you was Winter's Tears.
Okay, that's the first one you sent me. Okay. Oh, I have Intoxication of a Book.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I think maybe I read Winter Tears last time, didn't I?
No,
No?
no.
Oh, I read December 7th.
You can read Intoxication of a Book. That's fine.
Yeah, and I have Dance with Me.
Yeah, that's what you read last week because that was brand new.
And I remember reading December 7th.
Yeah,
Should I read Intoxication of a Book or the other one?
it's up to you. Either one's, they're both um they mean something to me, both of them.
Yeah, of course. Okay, well, you could even read both, maybe. Okay, Intoxication of a Book by Glenda Reed. As a child, I knew childish things, the world only as far as my eyes could see. But books began to show me a world far beyond my myopic squint. In my room, I could fly on wings made of words and thoughts written down from others' minds. I could leave my little room behind and travel to written but unknown lands. I could take a book to a chair in the grass, but be in a rainforest of sounds. I grew up learning of places afar, my ticket a book with pages to traverse. My life was fraught with life's own waves, but still I'd climb into the pages where I sought for a brief or longer times to flee. Until now, I know more authors' names than people to whom I've ever spoken. Rainy days or sunshine drenched find me lost in the scent of paper or the perfume of the ink that delivers freedom. That's a beautiful line.
Thank you.
Or perfume of the ink that delivers freedom. From days of silent and dark reverie, intoxicated by words on a page, I drink, floating on words I've maybe just learned, or flying on clouds of imagined sojourn. Ere my eyes grow heavy and my mind grow full, I at last fall asleep with my friend, the book, near. Lovely as usual.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Glenda, that was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, Julie.
Yes.
Yeah,
My house is just completely covered with books. I have more books in my house than anything else. I could open a library.
That's great.
I actually got rid of some books the other day. I just didn't have room on my shelves.
I don't have room on my shelves either. They're there on the floor, they're on the table, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I got. This is my this is my poetry
Mm.
shelves, which are
Uh-huh.
stacked full. Well, let's read morning too. You want us to read morning? Yeah, might as well. Morning. The face of morning is drenched in tears. Her eyes are closed. She inhibits dawn. Through prism lashes she gently peers. Her charcoal skies nudge slumber gone. She sighs the wind to gently blow. A tear curtain lifts to ebb and flow. As daylight spreads across her brow, she watches God's tears flow softly now. At last awake, she embraces day, sweeps the cobwebs of night away. The song of morning begins anew, nourished by dreams of star and moon. Morning smiles, for the song is sweet, laughs and joy for the love she meets.
I wrote that when I was a teenager.
Yeah, I can see it's got a rhyming one. There's a little bit more. And as the sun comes out to see why morning laughs so easily, another gift of day is born, with morning's love to be adorned. It is fun to read the ones with that rhyme. It's sort of a musical quality.
Very
It's how I
sweet.
it's how I learned to write poetry. Was rhyming. You introduced me to free verse.
Yeah, I learned a little later in life. I think, I learned pretty much. I learned free verse before I don't think I ever wrote really in rhyme. I read somewhere that I think it was Whitman that started free verse.
Yeah, I think I read that too.
Let's see, speaking of somebody with a different kind of cadence, there's E. E. Cummings. Just a little bit of one of his. The wind is a lady with bright, slender eyes, who moves at sunset and who touches the hills without any reason. I have spoken with this indubitable and green person. Are you the wind? Yes. Why do you touch flowers as if they were unalive, as if they were ideas? Because, sir, things which in my mind blossom will stumble beneath the clumsiest disguise, appear capable of fragility and indecision. Do not suppose these, without any reason or otherwise, roses in mountains different from the I am who wanders imminently across the renewed world. To me, said the wind being, a lady in a green dress who touches the fields at sunset. Yeah, you kind of lost me there a little bit there. But he writes with all kinds of odd stuff, like he's kind of a, I don't know if I can say that.
I can see it.
All kinds of little asides, and I don't even know if you're supposed to read the asides. Anyway, he's one of our famous poets, I guess. Here's one by Denise Levertov. I believe it's English, or maybe she lived here, I don't know. The day longs for the evening. The zenith longs for the banal horizon. The north wind longs for the south. And the trudging clouds are searching for that land of glowing fruit, of polished marble. But the wind that drives them is bitter. They bring winter with them. What is that promised evening? The day knows, in spite of everything, that evening will not fail. The ancient evening, the luminous evening. I'll read one more of hers. This has a long title. The last heavy fairy tale in which one lays one heart bare before the knife. The room is small, the table plain, white pine well scrubbed. The house is deep in the forest. Each comes alone, but watched carefully, holding in two hands that heart which till now was drumming and drumming away in its own interior anteroom, comes to the center, it, bare and still beating on the plain table in the small room, where the knife will appear, new sharpened, held invisibly. Okay. Let's read a little Rilke. You see, I want a lot. Maybe I want it all. The darkness of each endless fall, the shimmering light of each ascent. So many are alive who don't seem to care. Casual, easy, they move in the world as though untouched. But you take pleasure in the faces of those who know they thirst, who cherish those who grip you for survival. You are not dead yet. It is not too late to open your depths by plunging them into them and drink in the life that reveals itself quietly there. Trying to figure out what the there is. Huh? Here's another Rilke. Our hands shake as we try to construct you, block on block. But you, cathedral, we dimly perceive. Who can bring you to completion? What's Rome? It crumbled. What is the world? We are destroying it before your towers can taper into spires, before we can assemble your face from the piles of mosaic. Yet sometimes in dreams, I take in your whole expanse, from its deepest beginnings, up to the rooftop's glittering ridge. And then I see it is my mind that will fashion and set the last pieces in place.
Maybe that was about a church.
Yeah, I think about when they were building those cathedrals. Somebody could work like their whole life on one little tiny part of a cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What's that famous line about the guy that was working in a cathedral and he way up in a corner somewhere and somebody asked him, oh, why are you doing that so carefully? No one can see up there. And he said, oh, God can see. Here's an Antonio Machado. Rainbow at Night. The train moves through the Guadarrama. Guadarrama. I think those are mountains. One night on the way to Madrid, the moon and the fog create high up a rainbow. Oh, April moon, so calm, driving up the white clouds. The mother holds her boy sleeping on her lap. The boy sleeps and nevertheless sees the green fields outside and trees lit up by sun and the golden butterflies. The mother, her forehead dark between a day gone and a day to come, sees a fire nearly out and an oven with spiders. There's a traveler mad with grief, no doubt seeing odd things. He talks to himself, and when he looks, wipes us out with his look. I remember the fields under snow and the pine trees of other mountains. And you, Lord, through whom we all have eyes and who sees souls, tell us if we are all one. Tell us if we all one day will see your face. Here's a little one by William Stafford. Vacation. One scene as I bow to pour her coffee. 3 Indians in the scouring drouth huddle at the grave scooped in the gravel, lean to the wind as our train goes by. Someone is gone. There is dust on everything in Nevada. I pour the cream. Stafford was part indigenous. He wrote quite a bit about indigenous people. Let's see. Here's one by somebody named Bronislaw Maj, who I think was Polish. Seen fleetingly from a train. Seen fleetingly from a train, a foggy evening, strands of smoke hanging immobile over fields. The humid blackness of earth, the sun almost set against its fading shield. Far away, 2 dots, women in dark wraps, coming back from church, perhaps. Perhaps one tells something to another, some common story of sinful lives, perhaps. Her words distinct and simple, but out of them one could create everything again. Keep it in memory forever. The sun, plowed earth, women, love, evening. Those few words, good for a beginning. Keep it all. Perhaps tomorrow we will be somewhere else altogether. Okay. So I got something else here. Oh, it's an Allen Ginsberg. I hardly ever read Ginsberg. It's a little one. A strange new cottage in Berkeley. All afternoon, cutting bramble blackberries off a tottering brown fence. Under a low branch with its rotten old apricots miscellaneous under the leaves, fixing the drip and the intricate gut machinery of a new toilet. Found a good coffee pot in the vines by the porch. Rolled a big tire out of the scarlet bushes. Hid my marijuana. Wet the flowers, playing the sunlit water each to each, returning for godly extra drops for the string beans and daisies. 3 times walked around the grass and sighed absently. My reward, when the garden fed me its plums from the form of a small tree in the corner, an angel thoughtful of my stomach and my dry and love-lorn tongue. Let's see, what are we doing in time? We've got a little bit of time. It's a little one by some Japanese monk of some type, Ryokan. The night is fresh and cool. Staff in hand, I walk to the gate. Wisteria and ivy grow together along the winding mountain path. Birds sing quietly in their nests, and a monkey howls nearby. As I reach a high peak, a village appears in the distance. The old pines are full of poems. I bend down for a drink of pure spring water. There is a gentle breeze, and a round moon hangs overhead. Standing by a deserted building, I pretend to be a crane softly floating among the clouds. This one by Thomas Tranströmer, who was Swedish, I believe. Face to face. In February, living stood still. The birds flew unwillingly, and the soul chafed against the landscape as a boat chafes against the pier it lies moored to. The trees stood with their backs turned to me. The deep snow was measured with dead straws. The footprints grew old out on the crust. Under a tarpaulin, language pined. Let's go to line. Under a tarpaulin, language pined. One day something came to the window. Work was dropped. I looked up. The colors flared. Everything turned around. The earth and I sprang toward each other. Let's see. Well, it looks like we're down to Mary Oliver time. Let's see what we got here. Blue Iris. Now that I'm free to be myself, who am I? Can't fly, can't run, and see how slowly I walk. Well, I think I can read books. What's that you're doing? The green-headed fly shouts as it buzzes past. I close the book. Well, I can write down words like these softly. What's that you're doing? Whispers the wind, pausing in a heap just outside the window. Give me a little time, I say back to its staring silver face. It doesn't happen all of a sudden, you know. Doesn't it? Said the wind, and breaks open releasing distillation of blue iris. And my heart panics not to be, as I long to be, the empty, waiting, pure, speechless receptacle. Yeah, relate to that. Sometimes we reach for words too soon. We just have to sort of look at things or feel into things and then let the words come.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll end here with my favorite Mary Oliver, which I read a lot, but I just love it. 7 white butterflies. 7 white butterflies, delicate in a hurry, look how they bang the pages of their wings as they fly. To the fields of mustard yellow and orange and plain gold, all eternity is in the moment. This is what Blake said, Whitman said. Such wisdom and agitated motions of the mind's 7 dancers floating. Even as worms toward paradise, see how they banter and riot and rise, to the trees flutter, lob their white bodies into the invisible wind, weightless, lacy, willing to deliver themselves unto the universe. Now each settles down on a yellow thumb, on a brassy stem. Now all 7 are rapidly sipping from the golden towers. Who would have thought it could be so easy? I really like that poem. Well, I think that's about our time for today. So,
Thanks, John and Glenda.
oh, thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Always wonderful to listen to you.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
All right,
You
you
too.
too. You too. All right, Glenda, I'm going to say goodbye to both of you.
Okay, see you next week. Or are you gonna do this next week?
Next week could be the usual time. Yeah, I had something came up yesterday. So
Okay.
it'll be Wednesday next week.
Okay. All right, I'll see you then.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, both of you.